I have to ask you on this. What really put you, well, we were always on the map, but really like solidified it. And the other person's political career plummeted was your Rahul Gandhi interview, 2014. Thoda batao, kya hua tha? What went through your head when you were interviewing him? And when you weren't getting your head. I want to know what you went through.
What I went through?
Yes.
I'll tell you after. But I mean, the thing is that, see, sometimes things drag, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt it was dragging because
Women empowerment.
it was repetitive and
it's not easy as well.
Pardon me?
It wasn't easy for you. I mean, I'm just talking as a
What
journalist.
was not easy?
To do
You
that
had to
interview.
keep
the
probing.
interview.
Yeah, probing the man for an answer. And repeating your questions in different iterations.
I sort of assessed him well in the green room before that, because he had come up very excitedly, walking up with me up the staircase, telling me about my Wikipedia background, and I realized that he was doing research on me and wanted to impress me about how much he knew about me. And in the green room, then he asked me how old I was, and I said, I'm this is my age. He said, oh, you're much younger than me. And I said, yes, but I have 19 years of work experience. And I told him, because, he didn't get it.
He's just staring at you.
He didn't get what I was trying to tell him. And then in the interview also, I don't think he got it. And I felt, I mean, you have seen the interview, no?
Yeah.
I think he blanked out after some time. And the other thing is that you shouldn't try to impress. I'm not impressed by any interview. Anyway, Smita, when I do interviews, there is one thing I tell myself, that if this is my last conversation with the person, so be it. I never do an interview in the expectation of a second one.
Yeah.
And that is what I feel. You said, what should you tell journalism students? I tell them this. Let this be the last one. But let me not embarrass my profession by doing it in a way that I would not like the postscript of the interview to be read. So I think it was a very simple conversation which he could not handle appropriately. And I feel that he and his party should not take it personally. After all, we are children of merit. We are people who have educated ourselves. We are worthy citizens of this country. We know. I'm not here to give someone a walkover.
They've boycotted your channel and one or two other channels, and they don't come on your debates, and it continues. They said that because it's very personal, your attack on them.
Rubbish. I think that there are many people in these parties who want to ingratiate themselves to their bosses by trying to pretend that they are going to be the people who will save them from the attack of Arnab and Republic. And these self-appointed custodians in these parties are the biggest enemies of these parties. And they present the things like that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, people aren't quite missing them on TV. It's fine. People aren't writing to us to ask them to come.
Yeah, so...
it's okay. We don't miss them. And we don't have this... you see, Smita, we don't have anything to gain or lose by a political party coming. I have at one point of time been boycotted by all parties. When I did the story on 21 parliamentary secretaries being appointed wrongly by the Aam Aadmi Party, I was boycotted by them. I was boycotted by the BJP when I questioned the late Sushma Swaraj and, at that point of time, Vasundhara Raje and Lalit Modi during Lalit Gate. I have highest respect for individuals, but I was only doing a story.
And even a PMO, when you asked that question during Musharraf visit, when you asked that question, I mean, in the PMO, I know they said never again will we invite Arnab.
It's okay. I got invited once to a Prime Minister's press conference in 2011, and that is when I asked Manmohan Singh about the scams, and he spoke about the compulsions of coalition politics. So I was looking at it as a reporter. I got news points out of all my interviews. About the Rahul Gandhi interview, the interview became a news point.
Yeah,
the interview became a news point, which was not the intention. I was just simply doing a straightforward chat.
So you've been in this rarefied air where you've met him and all. I haven't met him. So not a
rarefied air?
Yes. How many
Who's
people
rarefied air?
How many people have met the first family of the Congress?
You have interviewed Sonia
Please
Gandhi
don't do
and
that.
Rahul Gandhi.
Very
Nobody's
few people
done
can
both.
boast of that. So just but
I object to the use of the phrase.
It's rarefied air. It's rarefied air. So you've seen him. You've seen him,
yes.
right? In this sort of new relaunching that they're trying to do with this Bharat Jodo and etc. Do you think he can? I mean, he's a credible opposition? Can he put up a real fight against the BJP election machinery now?
This is a conversation only in Lutyens, Delhi.
Hmm.
This whole conversation, can the Congress do it? Can it be done? Is a conversation that is happening within a 10 to 10 square kilometer area in this city. I can assure you that. And it is a conversation which is obsessing them. And I think that people in Delhi media should go out of the city and then experience outside. This is not a conversation outside. Not a conversation outside. Any party, any individual can transform themselves, but they have to be connected to this country in spirit. In spirit, not through social media campaigns, not through what you call minders. If we want to have a political party with its 53-year-old debutants and 75-year-old minders, good for them. They can keep relaunching themselves. I have no problem with it. But it is not a matter which I spend too much time thinking about in this country. There are so many things to do. I really don't have an opinion on it. If you're asking me for my guess, no.
Yeah.
Not in this way. Not in this carefully manicured way, Ishan. Anything that is true is always it comes out as raw. Anything which is true is not manicured, is not well planned. It does not need minders. If you're true and you're going to be accepted by the people of this country, any political leader who rises from the masses will be accepted by the people of India in the future.
Right.
And anyone who goes through a political finishing school, right, done by people who've lost themselves, will never be successful in this country. That is what I am observing. I mean, it's not that I need to be right, but that's my sense of it, Ishan. Country has moved on. The country has moved on, and people are very aware. Very aware. You know, they don't look up anymore to any individual. They don't look at anybody as a first family. They don't look at anyone being first among equals anymore. There is a competitive spirit which the Prime Minister alluded to in his speech when he spoke about an aspirational country.
Right.
An aspirational country will not look up to someone because they are from a family. This is my view. And I love that aspirational aspect of India. But the narrative in Delhi is still stuck 20 years back. They're still asking in 2022 the questions which became irrelevant somewhere around 2006, 2007.
Yeah. And this narrative, these people from Delhi that you like to put it, there's desperate need for validation from the West and Western media especially.
Yeah.
You still see that. We desperately people in the power circles of old who aren't in the charmed lot anymore. You think they still crave that sort of Western sort of yes to what they're doing?
I have not come enough to this city to feel it. Fact is, Ishan, trust me, I'll do an analysis of this and give you an answer. But answer roughly, again, guesstimate to your very straightforward question is, I presume yes. Yeah. But you know what happens? Things take time to change, Ishan. There is something called a domino effect. There's something called the trickle-down effect. Things change at the top. People tell us corruption goes at the top. Why doesn't it go at the bottom? It will take time. Because it will take a whole value system, and sometimes that can take half a generation to go through. The changes that we brought about in the Indian media around 2010, the fullness of these changes will be evident around 2025. This is my sense of it. If it has taken me and people who worked with me a decade and a half to bring about a cyclical change in journalism, then as a country it will take equally long.
Yep.
Changes in country's economy, culture, society, ways of thinking, media, sometimes take a period of time, and it will not need one individual or one organization or one political party to do it. It will have to be an overall effort. So when I look at the country, people say 100 years, 2047. I somewhere look around the country 2030, 2032, because in my own sense, I'm looking at it in terms of generations.
Yeah.
See, I'll tell you a simple answer to your question, Ishan. When people who were born in the cell phone age become the principal wage earners in their families, right? Which means I'm saying people born around 1996, right? When they turn 30, say approximately, which is about 2026, that is when you'll see the fullness of the change. So I'm very optimistic about India 2025, 2026 because, it's a combination of things. And I don't know if I'm communicating this well enough. I'm a student of sociology. And the reason I tell you is because economics, sociology, people, everything is linked. We are going through a digital revolution.
Yeah.
Your generation,
Yeah.
I'm talking of your generation, is fully a digital generation.
Right.
Your approach to life will be very different. Your responses will be very different, right? But the challenge for us is to put in your generation the strong values of nationalism and for you to believe in nation first. So when we talk about media, when we talk about political parties, when we talk about things changing, I can equally sit here and tell you, oh, you know what, people in Lutyens are cut off, are insulated. But I'm not saying that. I'm making it as a sociological observation that if you come to Delhi 5 years from now, you'll see a change in thinking. There are still a lot of people who are living in a sense of nostalgia.
Right.
They are looking for the return of the past. I can understand. It is true everywhere. You think that there aren't enough people, who are looking for the return of the left in Bengal, for example. The people look back at the glory days and say we associate with that with our good times. But I would say that your good times are gone. The good times for the people should come. What I'm seeing overall is a sense of decentralization in this country. Right? And media, society, everything is a reflection of that. So there is no easy answer to your question. But I would say that there's going to be a hockey stick change in this country after 2025. By 2030, we'll be living in a different country. By 2035, this country would truly have been transformed. I would say confidently today, you will not wait for 2047 for India to be a superpower. The period of superpowerdom will come quicker than people expect. And you will see it happening quicker as if we have political stability, social stability over the next few years.
This aspirational, assertive sort of population that you're talking about, there will be roadblocks. This is what it is, right? I, in my opinion, the Western media and all that, at least some parts of the Western media, they don't like this assertive India. I think over there, this is happening, and you can see it in the echo chamber of the Foreign Correspondents Club. They have a similar sort of news angle to every story that India comes out of, So,
Yeah.
And you have worked with a foreign partner in the past as well. We work with a foreign partner too. We see it over there. How do you look at it?
There's this newspaper called the Financial Times in London.
Right.
They did a interview with me as part of this Lunch with the FT series. And I had spoken about my aspirations to go global at that point of time. And I found that when they finally published a full page with my interview, they presented me as this sort of, slightly right of center, person who is not very grounded in reality on what can be done. And that was because they felt that what I said at that point of time about Indian media going global is an impossibility. Now, I tell you today, if I say the same thing in London today, if I say the same thing in Moscow today that I said in 2013, 14, 15, they would take me more seriously.
Correct.
And not just true of me, Smita. I would say true of a lot of people because India is being taken seriously.
Yeah.
India is being truly taken seriously. And I think that it's very important for the Indian media to go out of this crabbish mentality of fighting with each other to look about what is the purpose that they want to serve towards the country. So I'm very excited. That's why I say, Smita, that I don't like this sense of bitterness. I hate you, you hate me, oh, you're this party, that party.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
I think we are not serving the country well.
True.
So
Don't you think?
we can coexist, but we can have different ideas as well.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yes. When you did this whole thing, when that whole Sachin Vaze episode happened, I was on air with you, with your team, when that team came in to pick you up. And I seriously didn't think that they'll drag you to jail. I thought it's going to stop. It's going to stop now. And, your anchors were like, no, it's not stopping, ma'am. It's going to continue. I said, nahi, roke lenge. I didn't believe when I saw those machine gun carrying guys coming and your family out there being pushed and shoved. It was terrifying, at least for viewers. And I had so many people calling me up and said, are you watching? And I said, yes, I'm watching. What's happening? It was terrifying. And then they sent you to jail. What was that like, Arnab, that period? You didn't talk about it for quite some time. You didn't say what you went through. Those jails, Taloja jail and all, it's where terrorists are there. Mafia accused are in that jail. What was it like for a journalist and an army officer's son? You grew up in cantonments, all that. What was it
No
like?
godfathers.
It's a,
None of that.
it's a very,
Yeah.
that's a period of my life I have not spoken about in detail. What you are asking, I have spoken about the fact that we were right. What we've done is right. There's no backtracking, that we'll be proven correct in the court of law, which we have been. We've spoken about the legal side of it because the charges that were put against us were outrageous. Outrageous. But before I come into what happened in jail, let me ask you today, if the Commissioner of Police of Delhi holds a press conference and says that everything in ANI is the proceeds of crime, and says that there is another news agency I was investigating, I have completed the investigation in 4 hours against that agency. That is a very good agency. This is the bad agency I found out. And we will confiscate the assets, arrest Smita Prakash, arrest the family, lock up this premises. These are the proceeds of crime. And if on that day, outside your house or your home, all of the media in Delhi were to come stand outside and accept the police commissioner's claim and paint you as a financial criminal, how would you respond? And if it so happened, and then my mind thinks, so what you are asking me about the date of my arrest, which I think is the 5th of November 2020.
Yeah.
But what you must, and I would like to tell the viewers of your podcast, they must look at the events that happened a month earlier. In fact, around the 8th of October 2020, exactly a month earlier, Parambir did a press conference in which he said that I was buying the viewership of people of this country by paying them 500 rupees each, and everybody lapped it up. Everybody lapped it up. You're the journalist, Ishan, I'll ask you 2 questions. How is it that there were dozens of journalists and camera crew outside my house 2 hours before the press conference?
They'd been tipped off.
Of course.
That's
Yeah,
question.
a
That's
proper
question.
official
That's
message
question number
went,
1.
yeah.
How come that fellow, that commissioner, who now has so many cases against him, he and the entire they did innumerable interviews on that day.
Yeah.
Right. And the third question, which I want to raise before you, is if a person works hard as a journalist for over 20 years, breaks out from very limited capital, with intense hard work, builds an organization and dreams of scale, as in the clear dream was to build India's largest news organization, which, Smita, I want to tell you, Republic is destined to be the largest news organization in India. And through hard work. And if it so happens that as part of that growth story, we launch a Hindi news channel. A Hindi news channel which becomes number 1. Beats everybody hollow through editorial coverage. Right? I am obviously upsetting the apple cart of a lot of media corporate players in Lutyens, Delhi, who have had it too good for too long. But, however, is this the way to fight me?
Yeah.
Is joining hands with politicians I have upset and policemen who have their own axe to grind the way to honestly battle a competitor in a media industry where entrepreneurship should be welcomed? I don't like people who use unfair means to fight me. I very much welcome anybody who battles it out on the basis of stories, coverage, marketing, distribution, anything. But that press conference, by the way, happened a day after we completed 8 weeks as India's leading network in both English and Hindi.
Which so you think Parambir was starting the
history,
process?
No. What I'm trying to say is that by October 2020, Republic had reached a unique position where no media organization in the history of India in print or television has been numero uno in both English and Hindi. Since 1947 to now, name one media organization in India which has held numero uno position in terms of viewership, audience share in English and Hindi. So obviously people saw it as a threat. Now, I'm not suggesting a conspiracy. What I'm saying is that maybe it was a fortuitous turn of events for my enemies who thought that they would join hands together and this is the right moment. The organization and the individual is doing too well. Let's beat him down using a combination of factors. And I think that it is a curse for the Lutyens media that they have chosen unfair means at a time when they should have sharpened their editorial objectives. And their lesson for them forever should be, do not use unfair means to get ahead. Today, Republic is even more powerful and stronger, influential in terms of viewership. We have a destiny ahead of us. What has all this led to? So I wanted to bring you back from the arrest because see what happens, Smita. If I talk about my arrest, what happened to me in jail, what I went through, I will talk about it. I have no problems talking about it, but I want people to understand
the background.
That in this country, when someone from a middle class background aspires for greater dreams, then the existing establishment, which wants the status quo to continue, sharpens their knives and can fight me individually. But they must not join hands with criminals, either in uniform or in politics, because then you are bringing the profession down. It is the biggest blot in the history of Indian media. Smita, I'm not telling us ordinary thing. Forever, for the next 100 years, I hope there will be nothing worse than what happened. It is the biggest blot in the history of Indian media that the media got together with politicians, policemen, murderers and convicts. Look at the people they join hands with. Now they can say we didn't contractually join hands, but they opportunistically did join hands to bring me down and to bring Republic down. Is it not a fact? When I'm saying this today and those people watching it, if they are watching it, can they really look at me eye to eye and say, no, we did not do it?
Yeah.
The fact is they know we did it. Why did you do it? Why could you not work harder? Why could you not have the pulse of the people with you? Why don't you believe in the future of this country like I do? So these are questions. Anyway, that part is over. So what happened to me in November 2020 is extraordinary. Because I'm asking you today, who in the Indian media, which editor-in-chief has gone through what I went through? But the moral of the story is if the idea was to crush me, and to crush me in various ways by physically assaulting me and bringing 111, 120 strong group of people, 100 of them fully armed, 26, 27 of them inside my flat, pushing me with the butt of their weapons, hitting me in the crotch, physically assaulting me, thrashing me through the way, right? Not even letting me wear my shoes, right? Locking me up, locking me up in the loo of a jail, doing things which are unbelievable. We talk about human rights abuses, I don't talk about it. Shifting me from one jail to the other, dragging me through my hair, right? Unspeakable offenses. Making me open my wounded hand with my own left hand to open my stitched hand, which had 8 stitches on it, right? And making me open my stitches in front of me, which I have said, doing things like that.
Why? What were they planning to do?
And then telling me, why don't you chill out a little bit? We'll chill out. Picking me up from my jail cell at 6 o'clock in the morning. And taking me for quote-unquote interrogation for 8 hours, 10 hours.
What do you think this chill out means?
Chill out is that...
tone down your editorial?
Tone down.
No, tone down you at that point in the jail or your editorial of your channel?
No. Tone down. Tone down in every way. Obviously, what was this all about? It was an attempt to make me tone down. It was an attempt at getting me on a table to compromise. And I can proudly say that I did not compromise. I did not tone down. I did not seek a rapprochement. Right? I am convinced of what my work is, what my ethics are, what my values are. I didn't tone down. But again, to cut the long story short, and I'll answer your question later.
When he came in, you said that you are Sachin Vaze, aren't you?
No, I knew. See, Sachin.
He's a bit of a star at that time.
The fact is that
encounter special.
The fact is that, again, not going back to the arrest, but I am going back to what purpose all that served. I'm asking today, sitting in your office, what purpose did it serve? What difference did it make? But what I'm saying today
I'm sure
to
they're
you is
asking
different.
the same question.
Is that in the history of independent India, which editor has gone through this? Which editor has gone through this? And I know I was a spectacle for a lot of people in the Lutyens media, but I think they had an opportunity to redeem themselves by raising their voice then. Not that I needed them to. Let me make it very clear. I can fight my own battles. I don't need them. But for themselves, they should have done it. Now, as far as the absolute incident which you are speaking about, which is the moment of the arrest, you have seen about it. You've seen it on television, I'm sure, but you've seen perhaps 1% of it. And when a person goes through in those circumstances, it's an experience. If you want me to detail the experience, I will.
Yeah.
But it's a different experience. But I would not say that it's a degrading experience.
How can you say that? Your family was also involved.
No, it's not a degrading experience. It's not a degrading experience because it depends on the way you go through the experience. I can tell you, Smita, I went through the experience with absolute dignity. I went through it with dignity, and I don't think you can be degraded if you don't want to. But yes, I have never been to jail before. I have never been shifted in jails before. I have never been treated like a terrorist before. I remember on the day when I was arrested, they created a green corridor from my house in Lower Parel down through to Alibag. And in the middle of traffic, the only thing that was going through in my mind was, what nonsense. Why are they disrupting Mumbai traffic for me? They created a green corridor for the vans. And there were black curtains on the back. I could see beyond that. They created a green corridor of about 50, 60 kilometers so that I could be moved through, right? I could be moved through the traffic. And when I reached Alibag, and I went to the police station, and when I came out, and they said that it's time for you to go to the court because you have to be produced there as a convict, as an accused. I came out of the police station, and I saw that there were dozens of drones flying over the police station. The entire city, the town of Alibag had been cordoned off. And there were drones flying because they were capturing every moment of mine. So I want to know who was getting the CCTV footage of me. They were obviously providing live footage of me to their political masters. And I looked above and I saw the drones, and there were crowds outside, hundreds of people outside. I remember I met Shamu, I met my wife. I asked for her to come and she came forth. But I was shocked at the level of preparation they had for my arrest.
Did you
It's
feel
like they caught Chota Shakil or Dawood Ibrahim and brought him in then. It was crazy. I was in, the funny thing is, at that point of time, I was looking at it as a reporter. I put myself in. I said that now let me look at this as a reporter.
That's a reflex action.
That's a reflex action.
Yeah.
There's this great criminal being caught inside, and the way he's being protected, nobody around. There were 30, 40 people around me, all armed and ready to push me back if I moved a little bit.
Did you fear for your life at that stage? Because, everybody knows that some of them were encounter specialists out there. Did you fear that you could be eliminated at that stage?
See, when all of this stuff is happening, you're not thinking that far. I know that a lot of people were. Now, if I look back, there were so many things which happened, which, it's good I didn't overthink at that moment, because when you're in a jail cell and there are 60, 70 people in the cell with you, and there are about 1,200 very, 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 very hardened criminals sharing the place with you, and there are people from the D gang right next to you and in your cell, and there are people who are there are pedophiles and murderers, and there are people who are deep into narcotics who are with you, and there was the people I exposed for in narcotics were there in the cell next to me, and there were people who had a significant play in the Dawood gang who were made to meet me in jail, and I met them. And when people from the underworld were sent to my cell, and I met them and I spoke to them, and at that moment when you're in that situation, you don't really think. because you're thinking of the next thing. You can't think. When you stand in a phone line and there are 50 people ahead of you, you get 2 minutes to speak to someone. And I always used to call my lawyer, first thing. And, and when I used to speak to my lawyer, there's 5 policemen wanting to hear what I was saying. So, when you're going through so much, you're not really thinking because you're in a cell. You're in a big cell. And there are several cells. You're in one of the largest of them. And there are too many people. So the only thing that you're thinking about when you're being taken for the interrogation is when this is going to finish, And there are moments when the interrogation is getting too tedious. And these guys, they are having a whale of a time. They're eating in front of you. They are talking in front of you. They're gossiping. And then they're going in and out. And then they are going to the washroom and back. And you're simply going through 3 rounds of interrogation. And it's never ending. And it's really stupid. But you go through it. And at some point of time, you almost feel like, what are these police people doing? And it was seeming to me that they were constantly taking instructions. And there were attempts made to try and break me. You break him, drag the interrogation, make it personal, hit them hard, take him from one place, wake him up at 4 o'clock in the morning, hit him, put him into one cell, take him to another police station, make him stand there at the entrance of the police station, let him be unguarded, all that stuff. But the truth is, I have always, I look at it far removed. I was looking at it from the other perspective, what they are trying to do. And it was apparent to me that it's a very predictable attempt to break me. And those who are trying to do it don't know what stuff I'm made of.
Were you hit?
Pardon me? Oh, of course. Of course. I showed my wounds to the judge. You see, none of all this was ever reported. I asked for physical examination, and I told the lady judge out there, I showed her, I opened my shirt, I lifted my shirt and I showed my shoulders, and I was totally bruised through and through. Totally bruised through and through. On the way to the police station, out there, I told the cop, this is what I've been through. I've been badly assaulted physically. In the pretext of moving me from one van to the other. I mean, let me be. I am coming into the van with you. There's no need to assault me. The judge sent me for physical examination. I was physically examined. The doctor completely saw that I was bruised, but there was a lot of pressure, I believe, on the doctors then, and they said that I have self-inflicted injuries. Can you beat yourself? Can you bruise yourself right down your spine at the back?
Your hand won't reach.
Yeah. So it's bizarre, but that's what it is.
Did you at that time regret, Arnab, that maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I can compromise? And any point of time did you feel that, nahi karta, my journalism could have been a little less aggressive maybe? Or
Absolutely not.
Never.
If you see, if I did not compromise in 2011, when the entire Congress government tried to put pressure on me, when I was the editor of Times Now, then why would I compromise now? This was physical. I have had cabinet ministers warn me personally of consequences. I have written letters back to cabinet ministers describing my phone conversation with them. They have gone complaining to my bosses. This has been the story of my life. So I really don't care about the consequences. Should the consequences go so far? I mean, at one point of time when you're exposed to all kinds of people, when you're in jail, you do think about what's going to happen at night. And so I wouldn't sleep at night. I would just remain awake the whole night. So I remember in my jail cell, I would lie next to the window, and there's a big cell and there were the bars, and I would keep looking at the ceiling. And anyway, I couldn't sleep because there were these gigantic reptiles on the ceiling, which was very high. And I mean, not gigantic reptiles. They were not lizards, but there's some larger form of lizards and different colors. They were on the
That's so
on the
scary,
ceiling.
yeah.
So my adrenaline was running very high. And
did you have a mat or a bed, or what was it that you had in the jail cell?
I had a very, very thin mat. That's it. I had a thin mat, and so I would roll that up, and I would then lie down at the end of the day because you're too fatigued. You've come back from interrogation. You don't know what's going on in the outside world. And it's just endless. It's going on. And I thought that they denied police custody for me because the judge realized the first day that this wasn't much of a case. So legally speaking, the judge in the Alibag court denied police custody. It's only accidental that the High Court kept hearing. We have kept going up and down, that it went on endlessly. I'm sure the state government enjoyed it. But I would, as I was saying, when I was come back from there at about 12, 1 o'clock and all, so everybody in the cell would be sleeping, and I would then just look at this. I said I don't want to sleep because what if that falls on me?
Yeah.
So I would not that I would use these excuses to stay awake. So I don't think I slept for 2-3 days actually.
How many people were there in your cell?
Initially about 25, 30. Then there were more brought in. There were 40, 45, 50, maybe 50, 55.